they all lose in the end. Hello people of the interwebs, this is Luke Moore back with part 3 of my 3-part review of the Bring Arts Wayfinder trio. Now in part 1 we took a look at Ventus, and then in part 2 we took a look at Aqua. Here's a annotation so you can watch that video, which will leave an annotation to Ventus. But now we're finally taking a look at the Anakin Skywalker of the franchise, Terra. So, without further ado, let's take a look at him. Okay, so here we got the figure itself, and as usual, the sculpt and paint work is really well done. I do have some slight paint mishaps, like with there and on his belt and one on his chest here, but they're not too noticeable. They're not as bad as Aqua's. The face looks good. His hair looks really nice. It's really funny because he combined a mid part and slick back and a mohawk all in one. So I mean, it looks cool, but I just find it funny that he combines 3 hairstyles into one. He's got this gray skin-tight shirt that shows how muscular and big he is. And then you have this armor piece and this big glove, which, just like with Ven, it's gonna hinder the articulation. You got the symbol here, which is on his belt instead of his chest like the other two. And then you got this part which looks like the bottom part of a button-up shirt and part of like slacks. And this part is very soft and rubbery, so there is a chance that you could just twist that off if you tried, so don't do that. And the pants, I'm gonna get into this, but they do look nice. They have a nice shading to it. And the shoes also look nice, the soles. And they also have this separate cuff, just like with Ven, so you can get better articulation with the ankles. Now there is someone on YouTube that had a problem where his figure had 2 left feet, but I don't seem to have that problem, so I'm really grateful for that. So yeah, that's basically it with the sculpt and paint job. Now let's get into the articulation. So the articulation is okay. I mean, it's there, but okay, this is what he has. He's got a ball peg on the neck so it can rotate, move around, and tilt up and down. And the neck joint does move, but it just doesn't really move that much. The shoulders can go up basically at a 90-degree angle. They can shift down as well. He's got a bicep swivel, which can move full 360. His elbow can bend about that far. His wrists are on a ball peg so they can tilt and swivel around. And the armor does hinder this on, and it came off. That will happen. But it's not so bad. The ab crunch, it can go this far forward, and it can go this far back. There. And it can also rotate, move all the way around. Same thing with the waist. Now the legs, as you can tell, it's a big piece of plastic. They do have these like little cuts and like a little thing here. So you could try to spread out the legs, but it's not going to move. It could go forward about this much, back this much. The knee joint, it's there, but you can only get about like that much. So you're not going to get any articulation in that area. The ankles can bend like there. They don't pivot, but they can swivel. And the toe hinge is that flexible. So yeah. So overall the articulation is good from the waist up. but terrible from the waist down. But honestly, I don't know how else they would have done it, unless they make this entire thing a joint, which I don't know how that will hold up. So yeah, the articulation is there, but because of these pants, you can't do much with it. So that's basically it with the articulation. Now let's get into the accessories. Okay, so for accessories, he comes with quite a bit. So outside of the traditional Kingdom Hearts 3 base, which I'm not going to show because we've seen it a million times already, we got his Earthshaker Keyblade, which looks really good. It's got nice gold and brown painting right here, and a nice metallic blue around the handle. And we got the plastic chain with the little charm on it. And just like with the Master Defender, it can plug in both ways, so that's really nice. And also, we got Master Xehanort's Keyblade, the No Name, which again looks really good. It's nice and black. You got this antelope looking thing here. Got bat wings around the handle, the plastic chain with the nice little charm, and you got the Eye of Sauron, which is nice. And the teeth of the key kind of looks like an axe. Now, one thing about this Keyblade is that it is really, really hard to split apart, so I'm just going to do it off camera. So there you go, splits apart, but unlike the Earthshaker, it only goes in one way, so that's kind of disappointing because they were making improvements, but they just decided to just be like, nah. And yeah, I'm not going to plug it in all the way because I'm going to try something in a little bit. So for body parts, we got his default head and the standard fists. And we also get 2 extra heads. The first one is a sleeping face, just like with Ven and Aqua. I think the only reason it comes with it is because the game is called Birth by Sleep. So they decided, hey, let's just give them sleeping faces, which, okay. And then next we got a Terranort face, which looks really cool. It's basically just the same as the default head, except the eyes are yellow, the eyebrows are gray, and the hair is gray. So yeah, that's one way to save money, just give us the same accessory twice. Although the hair does have a nice little shimmery sparkle to it, which is pretty nice. And for hands, we got 2 racks, which could have easily been 1. I don't think there's any like standards when it comes to these things, but he comes with 2 Keyblade wielding hands and 2 open hands. And hey, since he's wearing a glove on one hand, it's easy to tell which hand is which. So to swap them out, you just take off the head and put on the other one. There you go. Then to put the Keyblade on, put on the hand, and just pop it in. There you go. And you could do the same thing with these to make them Terranort, but I've seen some people actually take these parts and stick it on the actual axle figure. So I'm just gonna see what that looks like. And here's how it looks, and yeah, that elbow joint is still pretty loose. But as you can see, you can now have a young Xehanort figure. Although I'm not really sure how tall he is in the game, so I'm not sure this is going to be accurate. So I'm just going to wait till they have a proper young Xehanort figure. But yeah, it's awesome that you can do this. But I'm not going to get another Axel just to have this. So yeah, that's basically it for the accessories. Now let's do a little size comparison. Okay, so for size comparison, here he is next to the Bring Arts Riku and Axel. And here he is next to the SH Figure Arts Organization 13 Mickey and the Kingdom Hearts 2 Sora. And finally, here he is next to the Bring Arts Aqua and Ventus. Now, having the Wayfinder trio together is really nice. But honestly, I think Terra is the only one that's in scale. Because with Aqua, I think she could be just a hair bit taller, and Ventus should be a lot shorter. He should be like right around here when it comes to Terra. But overall, they still look good together. So yeah, that's basically it with the size comparison. Now let's get into the final thoughts. So overall, the figure is still good, even though he basically has little to no leg articulation. It's still a pretty solid figure, and it's really awesome that it's basically like a 2 characters in 1 package, much like with Axel. And honestly, if you have these 2 already, it's a no-brainer not to get them. And they do look really good together. And now, one thing that I have to complain about with all these guys in general is that none of them come with their little charms, which is really stupid. Like, you think Aqua would come with all 3 charms, much like with Axel with the sea salt ice creams, but no. But like I said in the past, there's probably gonna be a re-release of these guys under a Birth by Sleep line, where they come with more accessories, which is going to suck because I don't want to spend more money. But yeah, if you are a fan of Terra, if you're a fan of Birth by Sleep, if you want to complete the trio, I would say pick them up, but just be warned, it's more like a statue because you can't really do much with it. So yeah, that's basically going to be it for me. Thank you guys for watching this 3-part review. Check me out on Instagram, it's going to be in my channel description. And I'll see you in the next video whenever I make it. So, bye-bye folks.